Welcome to another Summit Cast. This is a weekend edition. It's been a Saturday, quite eventful Saturday. Went to a water baptism, uh, which I just was a spectator. Let Pastor Eric and Pastor Tracy do the honors. We had 14 people baptized. That's awesome. I'm encouraged by people that are giving their lives to Jesus and following the Lord's command to be baptized in water. Earlier today, I was privileged to be a spectator in yet another awesome event. That was my wife doing a video recording for her fitness video, which is off the chain. The tea today is Silver Needle and Sweet Fruit Garden. Wow, good stuff. Don't have the high definition camera, but this is a long, extended weekend edition. Another camera angle coming from the 3Dub Winning with the Word studio. No high definition camera, just a regular old iMac camera. So if you've gotten used to that high quality HD, well, took a break from that right now. Simply because we used that camera as one of the cameras for Carla's recording, and they did not return it to me. Somebody is in trouble up in here. But no, I'll get it back. Anyway, but we've got some hot stuff coming up for you. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about just a little sneak peek. In fact, Larry White asked me if I had any nuggets for him, something for tomorrow, or something out of tomorrow's message, and I gave him a little bit. And I thought, I'm just not going to keep it between Larry and I. I'll share it with you a little bit. Give you all a sneak peek at tomorrow's message, since you're such faithful viewers, especially if you're taking the time to watch me ramble on a Saturday. I'm just putting some finishing touches on the message, and I'm always excited about bringing the word to you, because it's all about lives changing. And when you come to Summit and you come expecting, I want you to be able to, I want to do my part in preparing myself so that God can use me to get you what you need. And that's the second most rewarding thing to me, to having the Father ultimately say, "Well done, you good and faithful servant." That's really what I want to hear from him. Um, Secondly, it's seeing lives change and hearing the wonderful things that the messages are doing in your life. Hearing that charges me up. It gives me more fire. Helps me to, just charges me to keep bringing it to you and get more out to you. But not to be too long, just some thoughts about tomorrow's message. I'm teaching on getting ready for promotion. This will be a two-part series. Are you ready? You ready to get promoted? There are some things we need to do, and I think there are some important keys while you're waiting on your breakthrough. You may be going through some challenging times. This message is for you. If you're going through some affliction or some tests, some trials, things are not going the way you've planned. You may be in a tough place. The Bible tells us to endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, what I want to encourage you to do is, and this is the theme for tomorrow. This is what it's all about. Okay. I believe hearing it twice will help just reinforce it in your life. So I want to reward you, faithful viewers of the Summit Cast, by giving you this preview. And then when you hear it tomorrow for the second time, I believe you'll have an advantage. Okay. All right. Here it is. Here's the key. Here's the whole message tomorrow. Okay. The Bible tells us to be faithful. Okay. And he who is faithful in little will be faithful in much. Okay. Who's not faithful in little will not be faithful in much. It's a principle. So my word to you is this: be fruitful and productive where you are right now. Don't take the attitude, as soon as I get through this situation, then I'll start developing my skills and gifts and talents and abilities. I'll start working hard once I get over this sickness, or one, and then I'll cheer up. Then I'll have a good attitude. Um, soon as my divorce gets final, then I'll be happy. When I get when God blesses me with another job, then I can get on with my life. No, you get on with your life right now. Don't take the attitude, as soon as I get out of this problem, as soon as I get through this challenge, then I'll start producing. No. If you want to get where you want to be in life, you need to start being fruitful and productive where you are right now. Okay. Very, very important. And I thought about not getting into all of the message, but just give you some keys. I was speaking to a couple of guys who went with Joel Osteen to Israel, and they went to some of the same places where Jesus walked. They said the Bible just came alive to them. Well, they went over there by the brook where David picked up the stones that he used to slay Goliath. And actually, where the place where the Philistines camped and where Israel camped it wasn't a long way away. Okay. Israel was on one hill. Let me look at the scripture. Make sure. Oops, I don't have that up anymore, but here it is. Yeah. The Philistines were on one hill, and then Israel were on the other hill. I've got some amazing Bible software that's really, really cool. Something I got here recently. It was an investment, but it's just a good investment. But check this out. They were in. Hold on a moment. Yeah, the Philistines stood on the mountain on the one side, and Israel stood on the mountain on the other side with a valley between them. So actually, what they told me, these gentlemen that went to Israel, they were very close, okay, to each other. There was just a valley in between them, and they were shouting just a shouting distance away. They actually went to the brook. Both of them brought back stones from the brook. That it's the same brook, okay, that David picked the stones from, that he put in his sling. Actually, only needed one, but he picked five, I believe it was five smooth stones. And they said that they had the idea that, which I did too, that these rocks were just huge, humongous rocks. But the tour guides or the people over there showed them the sling, the type of sling that David used. It couldn't even, you couldn't put a big, huge rock in it. The rock that actually was used in that sling, they actually brought rocks back that were like the rocks that David used. They were smooth. I mean, they were just little stones about the size of a walnut, very small. Okay. And that's what David used. I thought that was interesting. But anyway, think about David's life up to the point when he got to the place where he slayed Goliath. He was a shepherd boy, basically keeping the sheep. I'm sure he had dreams. I'm sure that there are things that he had a desire to do in his life, vision for his future. He could have thought, man, it doesn't look like anything's happening. But I believe, just like Joseph, and Joseph was in a situation, I believe that there were some similarities between David and Joseph. Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, threw him in a pit, then sold him into slavery. He spent 13 years in prison, but he always rose to the top level of wherever he was. He didn't allow the situations in life to get him bitter, but he constantly developed his skills, his talents, and abilities. I believe David was the same way. I believe that because the Bible talks about how he would take the sheep when a lion or a bear would come and pull away one of the sheep. He would rip the sheep out of the bear and the lion's mouth. I believe when he wasn't doing that, when he wasn't using his hands to take the sheep out of the lion's mouth or the bear's mouth, I believe that he was practicing his skills with that slingshot, honing his skills. I can imagine him doing target practice with that sling. You know, you know. He got very good at it. He wasn't a skilled warrior. All right. He wasn't trained. He wasn't battle trained or battle tested, none of that stuff. But I believe that instead of getting bitter, I believe that what he did was develop his skills. He wasn't sitting around lazy, thinking about, oh, when is my dream going to come to pass? In fact, when Prophet Samuel came looking for somebody from the house of Jesse to be king and to choose a king, they didn't even bother to call David out. They brought all of the sons of Jesse in front of the prophet, but God didn't choose any of those. David said, is there, or Samuel said, I believe, is there any more? And then, there's, David, but he ain't nobody. He's out there fooling with those sheep. And it was his brothers who went out to prepare for battle against the Philistines. It wasn't David. David was just the only reason why, or the reason why he went over there. God had a purpose in him going. But as far as his father's concerned, the reason why he sent him was to get his brother some food. And he was supposed to come back. But he got there, started inquiring about, what's the guy going to get that slays this Goliath? Because he heard what the reward was going to be, and he kept asking people, what'll happen to the guy that slays this dude? Okay. Well, let's fast forward. Now, keep in mind, I believe he was preparing himself. And I'm talking about David, but I'm talking about you too. I want you to get prepared for your promotion by being fruitful and productive. I'm going to develop it more tomorrow, but I'm going to get out of here. But just let me say this. Let me finish this thought about David. He was productive. He developed his skills while he was keeping the sheep. I believe he was spending his time wisely, developing his abilities, honing his skills, practicing with that slingshot. And when he faced Goliath, Goliath had on full body armor. Okay? There was only one unprotected spot on his body, and that was right here in his forehead, on his temple. I think that's the temple, isn't it? All right. Anyway, he had one unprotected spot on his body, and David hit that spot with that stone. Took him one shot to do it. That didn't happen by accident. God didn't throw that stone. David was skilled in using the slingshot. What about you today? See, give God something to work with. Give it your very best. While David was developing his skills, here's a great point. Nobody was watching him. Nobody was making him do the right thing. See, you are who you are in the unsupervised areas of your life. When nobody's watching, what are you doing? Right now, I'm just kicking it in my house. My kids are entertaining themselves, laughing about stuff, watching TV. I'm in here because I love doing what I do. I love being a blessing to you and inspiring you with stuff. How long have I been going? 15 minutes? That's about long enough. But nobody's watching me right now. Nobody cares whether I'm in my office doing this. I mean, right now at the moment, once you see it, you might say, "Hey, I'm glad you did that." But right now, I mean, I don't have to do this. Okay, I can wait till tomorrow. But doing this to be a blessing to you and also to help me. The more I talk about it, the more it helps me because when I get up tomorrow, it's not the first time. So I'm just getting you in a little on my study and at the same time giving you a little sneak peek. Okay. I'm saying to you that if David would not, had he not been skilled, he wouldn't have had a chance. God didn't throw that rock. David paid the price. He was faithful. He was faithful in the wilderness, so to speak, when he was keeping the sheep. And when he came to his promised land, he was ready. So, what are you doing with what God has given you? Are you making the most of it? Are you developing your skills? Okay. I want to just slow down. This whole thing takes me, what? I've been talking to you 15 minutes, 17 minutes now. I won't let it go to 20, but tomorrow my whole message might be in half an hour. I might go later. I don't know. But here's the deal. I'm able to slow down and I'll probably move a little faster tomorrow. So this will give you a chance to let it sink in. Okay. All right. That's it. And if you listen to this today, you get the sneak peek. If you listen to it tomorrow, you may have already heard the message, but then you can listen to this and it'll help reinforce it. I love you. Appreciate you. Make it a great weekend. All right. I am